calling Dennis O'Rourke.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. I first of all want to refer to Section 8, which is the one that provides for the mixed elected and appointed council, 7 elected and 6 appointed. And I just want to say this, I think that is a risky kind of a council to establish. It's likely to create tensions between those who are appointed and those who are elected. We're likely to get a them and us attitude, and it's not going to be positive for an organisation which actually should be representative of the people and not of the government. So I'll leave that there. I've said that I think it's a bad idea. I said that it's likely to be dysfunctional, and I think it will be. I want to go on and say this about Section 8(1)(a). In the first version of the bill, it referred only to 7 elected members, but now it refers to, quote, no fewer than 4 and no more than 7, unquote. So it is envisaged that there will be, in some circumstances, less than 7 elected members at a particular time, while under Section 8(1)(b), there will be up to 6 appointed members, and there could therefore be, at any particular time, a majority, in fact, of appointed people and not of elected people. And I presume the reason why this clause has been drafted in the way it is that it would provide for deaths or resignations of elected people. And that's fair enough. But why isn't it drafted to preserve the majority of elected people over appointed people at all times? The Minister could suspend any particular appointed person or persons in order to maintain a majority of elected people, and that's what should have been done in the bill. Otherwise, the government and the Minister is accepting the possibility, in fact almost the inevitability, that there could be at a particular time a majority of appointed people over elected ones, because many councils have either deaths or resignations for some reason or another during a 3-year term. So I think that's a problem in the bill that simply hasn't been addressed, and perhaps the Minister would like to comment on that. I want to move on to, however, the reference in Section 11(1)(b)(2), which deals with appointed members, of the need for skills. Now, it seems to me that this is one of the main reasons why the government believes that there needs to actually be appointed members at all. But this is, when you look at it, this is what it actually says. It says that those skills are, A, the management of fresh water. Well, that's not exclusive to appointed members. In fact, there are many very skilled and experienced people in Canterbury who could be elected to represent the need for a skill for the management of fresh water. And in B, local authority governance and management. Actually, you'd find more of those people with those skills amongst elected people than you would amongst appointed people. So that doesn't hang very well. And in D, the knowledge of Canterbury region and its people, again, I would have thought that elected people would actually have greater skills than appointed people as far as the knowledge of Canterbury region and its people. So these reasons really don't make much sense and don't justify the need for appointed people at all. Perhaps the Minister could explain about that. Now, what he has said is that what the government wants is continuity. Well, what's the magic about continuity? The real issue isn't continuity. The real issue is a mix of skills. And in fact, that's what the bill says, not what the Minister says. If continuity was the issue, why isn't that in the bill? In fact, what's in the bill is about skills. But as I've just said, that doesn't actually make sense in justifying the need for appointed people at all. So I think the government's whole argument actually crashes to the ground right there. I want to go on and mention this. In subsection 11(1)(b)(4), it refers to the validity of the appointment of members, appointed members, not being affected if they didn't actually have those skills. Well, if you're going to have that section there, why is the whole thing there at all? And in fact, why are there any appointed members at all if they actually don't have to have those skills by authority under section 11(1)(b)(4). Mr. Chairman, and I also want to talk about section 11(1)(a), which relates to Ngāi Tahu representation. And this is where we in New Zealand First may actually depart from all of the other parties in the House, because we think that Ngāi Tahu representation, especially as many as 2 members on Environment Canterbury, is wrong in principle. We think that any appointed members are wrong in principle, and we think that quite apart from that, the appointment to an elected or even a partly elected body of people based on their race or on their ethnicity is fundamentally wrong, and we would oppose the bill for that reason alone. There should be no appointed people on elected bodies. It compromises the effectiveness of those bodies, and it compromises the fact that they are democratic and should operate democratically. We would support, however, an advisory body of Ngāi Tahu people, the views of whom must be taken, for example, particular notice of by ECAN in making its decisions. But actual membership by appointment of an elected body is wrong, and New Zealand First would definitely always oppose that. We know other parties don't have that position, but we do. So, Mr. Chairman, for all of those reasons, I would say that this bill shouldn't be passed. But again, I would just repeat this. The Minister has said that continuity is the big deal. He hasn't said really why, when in fact that's not in the bill at all, when in fact what's in the bill is the need for skills, and in the bill the skills required are specified, but in fact you will get those skills through the election of people, and probably better through the election of people than you would by appointment. So I'd like the Minister just to try and say why, having regard to all of that, do we actually need appointed members at all? Why not just go straight to an elected body this year and be done with it?